Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, KB. That's KB. You know who you are. You had your in-laws in for several days for a birthday party. You survived, my man. I'm very proud of you. What's going on? My name is Chris Rubio, host of the Rubio Method. You are watching right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. There's also Google Play, Amazon Fire, all that good stuff. So make sure you're sharing, commenting, do what you want. And as always, if you want to come on live with me, argue, talk, debate, just ask me a crazy question, see if I'll answer it, which I will. You can go to ngbn.tv, go to the Rubio Method, click on the yellow hoodie, looks just like this, and we'll have a good time. We'll have some fun. We may argue a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? Welcome to episode 58. We've got a wild, wild show. I'm going to try not to get too heated. Jenna always yells at me, and so does Nana Mona because I get too excited. Here's what we have on tap today. My 2 rules for my kids. I only have 2, just 2 rules for kids. I got 3 kids, just 2 rules. The controversial, quote unquote, end of the game with UConn versus Iowa. That's in women's basketball. We're actually going to talk about women's basketball a lot today. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I'm proud to say it. South Carolina is just too big. The irony of South Carolina being too big. That's the women's basketball team. A coach knowing she is wrong, but standing strong. Or was she actually standing weak? Jimmy Kimmell can't be serious about how dumb his comment was towards the USA. El Salvador's president is letting it rain. This guy, he does not care what anyone thinks. He is just doing what he thinks is best for the country. Good God. Can you be proud to be white? Oh, what about American? We shall see. Being who you are and saying what you want, all of that and much, much more on today's episode 58 of the Rubio Method. Jenna, I'm out. Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Jenna. So you're paying attention the entire time. No, I'm just kidding. She's ready. She just got back from LA, did a great job with the ngbn.tv. We had a golf show going on. And it was absolutely outstanding. Jodis and his little buddy, I can't remember what his guy's name is, but I know his car is very, very dirty. That's all I remember. You remember that, Jenna? Whew, good God. All right, so let's talk. Jason. Jason was his name. Good guy. I have 2 rules for my kids. And if you can imagine, you've been, say you're with me here. We've gone through this together. We've gone through 58 episodes. Some of you know me more than others do. You know my attitude. All right. You're thinking to yourself, Rubio, come on. You can't only have 2 rules for your kids. I swear to you, I do. There's only 2. I'm brutal. I'm rough. I'm blunt. Okay. I'm a little cruel. I'm definitely a little crass, but I only have 2 rules. Okay. And since the kids were probably around 8 years old is when I started teaching them these 2 rules. As soon as they were able to handle me telling them about these 2 rules, that's when I would tell them, these are your only 2 rules. So the 2 rules are, actually, I'll wait a second. I'm going to tell you about my experiences that brought me up to this little topic here. As you guys know, I travel a lot. I also run Rubio long snappy camps, and I have 1.6 million miles on Delta, so I'm traveling all over the place. 2 days ago, I was in Nashville. Next week, I'll be in Chicago. Week before that, I was in North Carolina and Atlanta. I'm all over the place. And if you ever go to an airport, you notice immediately they always say that as soon as you go through the security, 2 things happen. The X-ray machine makes you stupid, and the X-ray machine makes you rude. Well, I see a lot of the dumber people just because they do what they're doing. You know, they're the person who gets on the plane and they're seat 19F, and they look at their ticket and they're 1, 2, 3. Dude, it's numerical. It's going to go all the way to 19. I promise you. There's no need for you to look from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Just wait till you get to about 15. Then we can start focusing up, as I like to say. All right. But what I always do, and I've told you guys this before, I put headphones on. I just put headphones on and sunglasses. I don't care if it's in the morning. I get through security. I put them on, even if they're not playing anything. And what I do is I don't want you to talk to me. You don't talk to me. I don't talk to you. So my thing is, and I've always said this, I'm a bigger guy. I adamantly protest reclining in my seat in a plane. I don't care how uncomfortable I am. I'm not reclining because that's just double rude for the person behind me. Because as we all know, unless you're in first class or a bulkhead, if you recline, first of all, it's only doing like a 2-inch through. It's not really doing much. People recline. People that are pregnant, if you're you can you no one else can do. Well, all the pregnant people can do it, pregnant women can do it, but dudes can't. So you let it rain. If you want to recline on my lap, I don't give a crap. Okay. And if you're over 6'5", you're already miserable. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't lose height like you can lose weight. You can't go on a quick exercise just to lose 4 or 5 inches. Okay. So if you're above 6'5", or if you're pregnant, you have permission from Rubio to recline. Yes, I just did refer to myself in the third person. I don't care. And so there's my rules. So this guy in front of me, and all of a sudden, he gets in and he reclines right on me. I'm talking boom. And he's not a big guy. I saw him walking in. I always check to see who's in front of me, because if they're in front of me and they're smaller, I think, okay, there's a 0 chance this guy's going to recline. Why would he need to recline? He's 5'7", 5'8", whatever. This guy sits down and he reclines. Boom. And he reclines and just basically, I have my iPad out and crushes it. And you can just see, and he's bouncing the entire time. So he's trying to get comfortable. And we're talking about a 3-hour flight. And on this 3-hour flight, he's reclining, bumping. So he's adjusting my stuff to the point where if I have a cup of coffee, it's like spilling the coffee over. So this guy in my book is already an idiot. So this guy gets up after the flight. And I'm one of those guys, yes, Bell, you take off your seatbelt, can you get up? And you yell at people that get up. I get up immediately. Not because I'm excited to get off the plane, which I kind of am. Not that I think I'm going to get off any quicker. It's just that I'm tired, I'm cramped, I've been smashed because there's a little bozo in front of me. But I get up just so I can stretch my back, stretch my knees, do what I got to do. This guy gets up and he's, 5'8", 5'7". And all of a sudden the lady that's next to him takes her bags out, puts it down, it's a little roller bag, and she accidentally bumps him. He looks at her with rage and he's like, excuse me. And I'm like, dude, she didn't try to do it. Just thinking in my head, I'm not going to get into this because I already got my sunglasses on and headphones on, because I didn't want them to know that I could actually hear him. He's like, excuse me. She's like, oh, so sorry. She was like, just an innocent little girl or something like that. She was like 20 or something. And I was like, what an idiot. Okay. What an absolute idiot that this guy would be that complaining that long about something that doesn't even do anything. Okay. Number one. So then this weekend, I'm leaving Nashville, and it's got one of those the airport's phenomenal, by the way. They just redid it and it's absolutely fantastic. So this guy, they have those bins that you put through security where everything goes in the bin. You don't have to take anything out of your bag. It's like a space shuttle airport. So you just put everything in the bag. Okay. Boom. Just like that. You put it in the bin, no matter what it is, you just put it in and it goes. So I'm around the other end and I see my bag coming in through one of the bins. I grab my bag, I get the bin, hold the bin, I'm about to put it in the little thing, and the little TSA guy grabs it from me, and he grabs it. He says, I'll take this for you. No problem. No big deal. I was going to move it about 6 inches to my left. Not a big deal. I'm walking away, putting on my jacket, tucking in my shirt, do what I got to do. And some guy comes up to me and says, hey, man, not sure if you understand. He starts tapping his ears, like, hey, take off your headphones. I said, okay, yeah, excuse me. He goes, I don't know if you know the protocol, but it's one of those things where when you're done with your bin, you put it away. And I go, yeah, I know. He grabbed it out of my hand. I was about to. He goes, well, it's just proper for you to just do it yourself. I go, okay. But he took it out of my hand. And he says, oh okay. But and so he just left. He just leaves. And I thought to myself, you know what? These two would be perfect for my 2 rules for my kids. So now we go back to, what are my 2 rules for my kids? Now, this is going to come off a little crass. My 2 rules for my kids. Number 1, do whatever you want in life. Do whatever you want in life. I don't care. But this is still rule number 1. Would you do it if I was standing right next to you? Okay, if I was standing right next to you, would you do it? If the answer is yes, let it rain. If the answer is no, maybe you should pause. Because I'm kind of lenient. I'd be kind of a wild and crazy guy. I'm into adventure and doing some things. But if it's one of those where you're thinking, should I light this firework right here? And if Rubio was standing next to me, should I do it? And if the answer is no, don't do it, idiot. It's very simple. So that's rule number 1. Do whatever you want as long as I'm standing next to you and you still do it. And number 2, don't be a dick. That's it. I tell my kids all the time, do whatever you want. Just imagine if I was standing next to you. And number 2, just don't be a dick. Both of these guys would have learned immensely from these 2 rules. Okay. Do whatever you want. Would you be rude to this little girl Would you be rude to this guy if I was standing next to you? Probably not. And the next, just like they say in Roadhouse, don't be mean. Don't be a dick. Just be nice. Remember that famous Patrick Swayze when he first goes to the double deuce when it's still a hellhole? And all he says, just be nice. If they call your mom or whatever, just be nice. So those are my 2 rules. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I hope you also enjoy this great commercial. And then we're going to come back to the 5 principles of the Rubio method. Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Let's get going, gang!
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. Artbeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Whitney, out at One Shot Charlie's. I'll give you guys a heads up. If you know of a girl or a guy 18 to say 25 that's off from college and they want to go hang out in mid to northern Idaho and make a lot of money being a waiter or waitress, One Shots is hiring. I'm telling you right now, they will make a lot of money and be on a beautiful Coeur d'Alene lake. And they will, like I said, make a lot of money. If you're between 18 and 25 or you know 18 to 25-year-old, I would highly recommend it. Welcome back to episode 58 of the Rubio Method. Everything happens for a reason. Let's start off right out of the gate. All right, so women's basketball, women's college basketball. I never thought I would talk about it, but it's become a big topic. Let's go. They had the Final Four. The big controversial call was UConn versus Iowa. Now, this ended the game pretty much because it gave UConn another foul, gave Iowa the ball, blah, blah. Jenna, can we show this clip? Okay, so now this is a great angle of this. This was pretty much like the last 10 seconds of the game. And everyone always says, every sports person always says, you can't end a game on a call. And didn't end the game, but it was damn near close to the end. And I agree, let the players play, blah, blah, blah. But this is one of those blatant calls. And if you have a comment, you can comment on Facebook, YouTube. I don't think you can comment on X, LinkedIn, and obviously you can go on the NGBN.TV network. But this is one of those where it's so blatant that you have to call it. It'd be the equivalent of a wide receiver going out for a pass and the defensive back basically jumps on his back and tackles him. And you're like, well, you can't call pass interference. At some point, you have to call pass interference because at some point you have to yell at the player for, hey, man, this is obviously a moving screen. You're a big human being. It's not like you're petite and can hide. I mean, this girl's at least 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". So when she adjusts and does a moving screen, everyone can see it and it becomes quite blatant. And it's one of those things like in football when you miss a game-winning kick, quote unquote game-winning kick, and then the kicker's the bad guy. Do you really want to blame the kicker? As much as I don't enjoy kickers, you can't really blame the kicker because you had 47 other minutes to be ahead in the game. So why would you waste or blame the very last second? Why didn't you blame minute 32 where everyone just took a dump on themselves? So that's the big controversial. Now, this is where it gets me funny. So everyone's talking about the women's bracket. Everyone's talking about the women's tournament, blah, blah, blah. And they decide to ask Kamala Harris about something. And this is her response about brackets.
Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? Think about that.
Okay. Now, number one, it's simply not true. They've had brackets since the tournament came out for the women in like 82, so it's been basically 40 years. Number two, Kamala filled out a bracket in 2021. It's like she did it on Twitter. Here's my bracket. So there's two things here. Okay. And number three, the reporter obviously doesn't even say anything like, hey, honey, you come on. This is obviously not true. So here's two things. She has handlers. So there's only two possible answers. Either she is that dumb where she just doesn't know, which is almost impressive. Like she just doesn't know. Either that or her handlers are setting her up for failure. And it's almost like one of that show, what is it, Impractical Jokers, Jenna? I think that's what it's called. Impractical Jokers, where they put someone in the store, they're like, hey, ask for this, blah, 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 just to make them look like an idiot. Like her staffers saying, hey, go say that brackets didn't start until 2022. I mean, third graders know that's not true. So either she just doesn't know, which is almost impressive, or her staffers are out to get her. I don't even get it, but to me, it's almost impressive. And then South Carolina beat Iowa. Kimmell is famous for her word salads. Yes, she is, 100%. South Carolina beat Iowa in the women's college basketball game. That's great. It averaged 18.7 million viewers. 18.7 million viewers. That's more than any basketball game, men or women, college or pro, in the last 5 years. Holy Jesus. That's extremely impressive. I mean, that's outstanding. Good for them. Brings me to an email question. Rubio, when do you travel, does your wife let you dress yourself? Absolutely not. 100% not, because she knows I'll dress like this every single day. If you guys see me do the rundown with Rubio on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Spotify, all that good stuff, I wear the exact same thing every day. I wear a black pair of shorts, athletic shorts. I'll wear this or a black Rubio long-time sweatshirt, and my wife knows that. So she packs out all of our gear. Funny little story. When we were on the cruise, we went to Cozumel, and she signed us up for this thing called The Amazing Race. You've all seen that show. Well, we get there and it's hot. And the day before we went and saw monkeys or something like that, it was, oh my God, hot. And it was humidity hot. And I can't stand humidity. You know my rules. As soon as I get teat sweat, I'm out. And we got teat sweat immediately. For those that don't know what teat sweat is, just sweat under your teats. And it's just too hot. I'm 100% out. So we're doing this amazing race. And my wife picks out our clothes. She has literally stacked by the day. Like, you're going to wear this, this, this. And I don't even care. You take my man card. Doesn't matter to me. That's one less thing I got to think about. So we have sandals on. And immediately we get there, and every other family, they've got like eye black, their wrists are taped up, their ankles are taped up, they've got like headgear on, they're ready, they've got like mouth guards, they're like UFC fighters, and they've got matching shirts. And I look to my wife and I'm like, okay, man, I don't think we're really prepared here. And why are we wearing sandals for something called the Amazing Race? The word race alone tells you we're going to be racing people. And there's like 25 other families. She says, it was hot. I didn't want our feet to sweat. Okay, well, we're not going to sweat because we're not winning at this point. Next, we start doing all these things, and I handle pressure really, really well and all that good stuff. And you got to solve these riddles and clues. It's very well set up, very well set up. And finally, I tell my wife, okay, do you want to help out with this clue? Because I'm pretty much holding the team together. She says, I can't. I said, well, just look at the clue. It'll take some time, but you'll figure it out. She says, no, I can't read it. I said, well, what do you mean you can't read it? She said, I didn't bring my glasses. I said, what do you mean you didn't bring your glasses? She says, I didn't bring my glasses. I go, well, then why are you here? You're basically a paperweight. Okay. So I don't know about that. All right. So that's a good story for you. It's a great game, but the Cardoso, the girl from South Carolina, 6'7" female, absolutely stud, big, massive human being. She was just destroying everybody because she's 4 to 5 inches taller than everyone. Okay, so that's what you want. You want someone who's big. She absolutely dominated everyone on the court. But there's a little bit of irony in this. Okay, a little bit of irony in this due to the fact that pre-game, a reporter asked Dawn Staley, that's the head coach from South Carolina, a very significant question that's going on in women's sports right now. Okay, Jenna, can you play the clip? Now, this is a longer clip. It's like 45 seconds, but I want Jenna to play the whole clip because there's several things that I really want to point out to you. So make sure you watch it in detail and listen to it in detail. Go ahead, Jenna.
Like about the inclusion of transgender athletes, biological males in women's sports. I was wondering if you would tell me your position on that issue.
Damn, you got deep on me, didn't you? I'm under the opinion of if you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play.
That is a stupid answer. Especially as a women's basketball coach, you would literally just kill the sport. And here's how I know she knows it's a stupid answer. The guy asked the question, What do you think about transgenders in women's sports? And what does she do immediately? She pauses. Then she takes a huge sip of water and she just pauses. And we're like 5-6 seconds of water drinking. Okay, she's not dehydrated. She's pausing to think. And she's thinking to herself, do I answer honestly or do I answer to appease the masses? Because she's going to get yelled at either way. If she says, no, man, women's sports, the entire left and the LGBTQ7 army is going to go after her. If she answers the way they want her to answer, like, no, if you think you're a dude, you should play. You should play on the women's team. If you're a dude that thinks you're a woman, you should play. And so now she's got the right side all pissed off at her, but she doesn't care. They don't have as much power, especially in the media. So that's one of those things. And here's the best part. Dawn Staley is like one of the greatest women's basketball coaches of all time. She's absolutely phenomenal. She would not have her job if men were allowed to play sports. Her championship, she's an NCAA championship, a WNBA championship, considered one of the greatest female basketball players of all time. She's also an Olympic athlete, even in the Hall of Fame. So now, can you imagine one 6'7" female absolutely dominated the game, So imagine if some 6'7", let's say D2 guy decides, hey, I'm not making a D2, but I'm 6'8", 6'9". I'm just going to say that I'm a woman. What is he going to do to the women's game? He's going to absolutely destroy it. And I got into basically a discussion with someone yesterday about this on TikTok. They were talking about basically the same subject. And he says, well, if they think it's fine, that's what they think it. And I said, okay, if I put on an afro wig right now, do I have an afro? And he said, yes, you do. You're pretending to have an afro. And I said, you answered my question for me. You just put yourself in a corner. Well, then they're pretending to do what they say and they're doing. They're not really that person. I'm not really a human being with an afro. Okay, as you guys all try to get a visual of me with an afro, okay, I'm just someone pretending to be an afro. So by letting men go into the women's sports realm, you would absolutely kill the women's sports games. Yeah, Nana Mona says, say your truth, 100%. And I think too many people are afraid to say the obvious because they're afraid of being burnt down. And it's like, this is a no-brainer, man. If one 6'7" female, and don't get me wrong, she's a phenomenal athlete, it's Cardosa, but her main thing is that she's massive. There's no one else like her. 6'7", she's probably 230, 240, but she looks thin because she's so big. She dominated, okay? Absolutely dominated. Imagine what some 6'8" D2 guy does. 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot, or even 6'6" D2 guy that just didn't make it or didn't make the team. He's going to go to the women's team. And if you've watched both the men's and the women's Final Four and even championships, there's a considerable difference. Don't get me wrong. The women's play a very technically sound game, but they're not beating a men's team. It's just not happening. I mean, you could lie to yourself and say, yes, they 100% could. Absolutely not. There's zero chance of that. Okay. On that note, there is a chance that we're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, what are we going to talk about? Ooh, we're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel and how much he pissed me off. All of that and much, much more on episode 58 of The Rubio Method. Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
1 week after launching our exclusive sneak peek, NGBN TV was live for 3 days of continuous coverage from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
NGBN TV is live from Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
The one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s was the conversation for the big game about men's mental health. In the world of athletes, celebrities, and influencers, we're on notice. But we're just getting started with new partnerships announced like the Team Nike 3-on-3 Championship and new platforms available to download the NGBN TV app. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today from your favorite streaming device or check us out at ngbn.tv. This is NGBN TV.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Rick, out in Arizona. Thanks for always making me laugh. You send me memes and gifts, and you just keep me on the lighter side of life with a big burst of humor, so I really appreciate that. Welcome back to episode 58 of The Rubio Method. Remember, you can download on Spotify, YouTube, Google, Amazon, Roku app, all that good stuff. You can even comment on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, X, and if you want to be on the show with me, you can go to ngbn.tv, click the Rubio Method channel, and then click on the yellow hoodie, and we can come on and argue. There are winners and losers in life. Jimmy Jimmy Kimmel, he's a late night talk show host. He's been basically on the air for about 10, 15 years. He's the one that had the Man Show where he was kind of rude and crude and all that good stuff, and everyone loved him. And then he became very, very mainstream. And now he's basically just toes the line and just kind of basically does what everyone tells him to do. He traveled to Japan recently, and he came back and did his monologue about how great Japan was. And I want to just talk about it a little bit. Jenna, could you play that clip for me real quick?
USA we're always chanting about is a filthy and disgusting country. Traveling to Japan, I realized that this place, this USA we're always chanting about, is a filthy and disgusting country. We were in Japan for 7 days. Not only did I not encounter a single dirty bath.
Okay, so as the clip glitched a little bit, you see he's in Japan. He talks about how it's super, super clean. It goes on for another 2 minutes about how fantastic the bathrooms are. They're cleaner than our operating rooms. There's no trash in the street. It's just absolutely wonderful. And that's a great, great thing. Yay, Japan. And he's saying how USA is just absolutely disgusting. Okay, number one, Jimmy Kimmel, let's talk about where do you live? Okay, and Jenna, do not post a picture of his house yet. Okay, actually, Jenna, go ahead. Post a picture of his house if you have it. So there's his house. If you can't see, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, it's just a picture of some big bushes and a massive, I think that's a garage on the left, and just like a 12-foot high wall. You literally cannot see his house because it's so barricaded up. So number one, your area looks good. Why? Because you're in a bunker, basically. You said, I'm going to surround myself in a gated community. I guarantee because I think he's in the Holmby Hills area. That's just right in the LA area, but Beverly Hills. So it's uber rich. And then he's in a gated community / he's got a gated home. All right. Okay. So your area is going to be very, very clean. Number one, you live in Los Angeles area. LA is known for, it's a big city, obviously, and it's got some very, very, very bad areas. I know for a fact because I used to live there, and I still travel back there about 2 to 3 times a year. And I can tell you exactly where to go to see these basically hellhole areas that no one cares about. And we're not even talking just Skid Row anymore, because that Skid Row's been a hellhole since the 60s or 70s. And just, okay, you don't go there. It's downtown. Now it's all over the place where you've just got like shanty towns off on-ramps and off-ramps and all that stuff. So let's talk, Jimmy, since you're so unproud, or not proud, Jenna, not proud of America. Let's see, why do you think Japan is cleaner? Okay, well, number one, their government is just a tad harsher than the United States. They have less than 1% of asylum seekers get access. Less than 1% of asylum seekers. Those are the people that go through the proper channels. They go through the asylum entry and say, hey, I'm here. I want to do this. I'm seeking asylum from Idaho or America, wherever. Those people that line up legally get 1%. 1%. Those are the legal people. They're illegals. It's like zero. You're not allowed to. You're not even allowed to enter illegally. So when you take away people that aren't interested in the same thing as you are, that's number one. That's a very, very easy thing. You're monitoring exactly who's coming in. Okay, just be like if you had a house party. Would you want to know who's coming in? Or are you just opening the doors and letting anyone in? Okay, if you're letting anyone in, you don't know if they have the exact same values as are. What is their immigration policy like, Jimmy? Their foreign entrance to Japan plunged 92% in 2021. In 2021, they let 92% less in. So they just said, no. And don't get me wrong, this was during the Rona and all that. But they said, hey, no, we're not even taking that. We're only going to take 8%. And okay, that's just people coming in. Back to an email question. Rubio, do you guys partake in any of the trivia on board the cruise ship? Yes, I told Jenna this story. I'm not a big trivia guy, but I kind of liked it on the cruise ship because I was having a good time. One story was there was this Friends trivia. You know, the show Friends. I love the show. I think it's funny. I hate Ross on it because there's no way he gets Jennifer Aniston. I've said this last week, I think it was. And so my wife and Damon were doing some other trivia, and they said, you go, set a spot. We'll come in about halfway through. No problem. So it's 1 through 20. I'm sitting there, group of 200 people. All of a sudden, I started doing the questions, and they're hard questions. I'm thinking I'm going to get all 20 out of 20. The first question is like, what's Chandler's mom's name? Well, who the hell knows that? And so I'm like, I just write Chandler's mom's name. It's because I know my wife's coming in like 15 minutes. She'll be able to crank through these because she's really good at Friends trivia. Question number 2, what is Ross's 3rd grade best friend's name? Who the hell knows that? And so I'm like, oh, okay, I don't even know. No, and my mind's starting to go blank. Question 6 gets around, and it says, what's Ross's first wife's name? And I'm like, I don't know her name, But I do know she was a lesbian. I do remember that because that was a whole storyline of how she was a lesbian, starts going after her. I think it was whatever. And so I write down Ross's lesbian wife because that's going to give me the clue for my wife. My wife and Damon never show up until the end. So about question 19, I'm starting to just squiggle in answers, blah, 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 blah. Get him over. After the game, okay, game's over. You got to pass the person next to you so they can answer your questions or see if you get them right or wrong. So I look to my left, there's like an 11-year-old girl playing some sort of game on her phone. I look to her, she's not doing anything. And then the mom says, I'll take the card. Let's just say the mom was a little bit more masculine than I was. She had a tighter shirt. Her haircut was almost as short, had a nice tight. I mean, she was very, very obviously a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I just hand her the card, don't think anything of it. I'm going, okay, whatever. All of a sudden, we get to question 6. And it says, Ross's first wife's name. And immediately I started boiling up like, oh, damn. And so I'm like looking, but not looking. I look over. She goes, don't worry. We gave you 2 points for that one. So they had a good laugh at it. I thought it was great. So, yes, I did do a couple bit of trivia. And going back to the Jimmy Kimmel thing, where he lives, what is he doing to solve the problem of it? Will he stand by no immigrants coming in? I guarantee you wouldn't. If anyone said, hey, Jimmy, can we do the exact same thing Japan does to eliminate the ragtagness of the trash and all that stuff in the bathrooms and all that on the streets? Could we do that? I would bet you $1 million that I don't have that he would say, absolutely not. There's a 0 chance I'm going to allow that. People need to come in, come one, all call. And then I said, okay, Jimmy, do you think it's okay if we have all these illegal immigrants or even asylum seekers? Can they come stay at your house? Because I guarantee you got a big house. Just open the gates. I guarantee he would say no. And he's worth $50 million. He's worth $50 million. So what is he doing besides complaining about it? Okay, if you're going to complain about something, I get it. But what are you willing to back it up with? I'm going to complain about this, okay, but here's how I'm going to fix it. If he's not fixing it, okay, and he's asking questions about why, why can't we be like this, but doesn't want the answer, he's what I call an ask-hole. He's someone that asks questions but doesn't want the answers. Because I can give you the answer, Jimmy, right this second. I could 100% give you the answer, but I guarantee you don't want it. And that's why you're an asshole. On that note, Jenna, take us to commercial. I think we're going to come back with, we're going to have a special guest. All right. On that note, Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Hello, we are the MD and Chef team. I'm nutritional chef Michael, joined by my beautiful wife, Dr. Isabel, medical doctor and suicide survivor.
Yes, I was dropped into the world of mental illness back in 2013, and by the grace of God, I survived suicide. But here's what I learned. We don't have a mental illness issue. That's the downstream event. We're focusing downstream. We should be focusing upstream on our brain health and all the things that we can be doing to support our brain health. Because you see, it's like mopping up the floor when the sink is overflowing instead of turning off the faucet. So come and join us on the MD and Chef Team show.
Come join us.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, MD and Chef. Their show is on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's like Friday, about, I don't know what time, New Zealand time, that's where they're from. I'm telling you guys right now, if you watch the MD and Chef show, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, if you watch that entire show and you do not smile, you are in a coma. That's the only thing, or you've just got the worst personality on the planet. It's a great show. It gives you a lot of great advice too. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's for ages, I would say 30 on up. I mean, it's fantastic. It always puts me in a good mood. MD and Chef show. It's Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time on the NGBN network. Absolutely phenomenal show. Accept and embrace. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but I don't care. This guy is absolutely letting it rain. This is the dude that about a year or two back, he started making these mega prisons because their criminals were out of control. And yeah, Jenna put a picture of it right there. Look at this. The normal prison size room is say 12 by 12 and fits 2. He made them 10 by 10 and says 8 go in there. I don't care. And this guy just, look at the way he's lined them up. They're in boxers. They just put masks on. He treats them basically like animals. animals. And he's saying, hey, you act like an animal. I'm going to treat you like an animal, man. And I think that's fantastic. Is it rude? Oh, 1,000,000,000%. Is it crude? Oh, fantastically crude. Okay. Is it right? I don't care. My thing is this: once you break the law, you don't have access to the law at that point. If you don't have any rights, you've lost your rights as a quote unquote good civilian because you've chosen to break the law. We've given you a state of laws and rules to follow, and you've proven that you can't. You're more of an animal. Well, then you lose, and then you get treated like an animal. You get put in a pen. So he saw the mega prisons that he put up, and their crime, by the way, went down 98%. 98%. Wow. So yeah, go ahead, be rude. Nayib Bukele. Okay. His new immigration policy, he have a new one. Now listen to this. This is wild. Includes offering 5,000 free passports. That's equivalent to 5 billion in their passport program. So 5,000 free passports, but only to highly skilled scientists, engineers, doctors, artists, and philosophers from abroad. So anyone that's not El Salvadorian, say you're living in New Zealand, say you're a Dutch, say you're in America, and you want to go over there and you're a skilled scientist, engineer, doctor, artist, or philosopher, he'll pay you to come over. He will pay you to come over because he wants to make his country better. Holy hell, what an idea. You mean not just taking everyone in? This is absolutely phenomenal. And people are yelling at him like, dude, this is rude. 1,000,000,000% is rude. Okay, but if you were taking in house guests, would you want someone who's not following your rules, who doesn't believe in every single thing you do? Or would you like the cream of the crop? Say someone who knows what they're doing, who's a great philosopher, who's a great cook. Yeah, come on in. You can stay for a year. You're going to cook every day for me, these fantastic meals. Hell yeah. Come on in, man. I'll even make the damn bed for you. I think this is a great idea. Jenna right now is agreeing with me. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's insane how smart this is. And it's also insane that people will look at it and go, well, that's just rude. Well, no shit. It's rude. But sometimes you have to be rude to get what you want in life. If you want the best of the best, you got to be rude. And I always say that's why a lot of people didn't like El Trumpo, because he was an ass. But he was a good businessman ass. And he ran the country like a businessman. Was he the nicest person? God, no. Would I want him dating my daughter? Oh, hell no. Would I want him dating my mother? Oh, kind of, yeah, because that'd be kind of interesting because she can't stand him. But no, on the side note, okay? But what's that compared to what we have in America, where people aren't going through the asylum seeking? They're getting, people got fired for not taking the vaccine, but now anyone could just cross the border and they're not asking if you have a vaccine. Chicago alone, measles have gone up. I think they have more cases right now than they've had in the last 14 years combined. Wonder why? People are just coming across. You don't know who they are. And you're not checking if they're actual families and things like that. They don't go through the proper channels, and they're just going. They're just coming along, and you're not checking anything. We're not saying, hey, are you a top philosopher? Hey, are you a top scientist? Hey, are you a hell of a chef for Rubio? We're not checking any of that. We're just kind of letting them in. So what do you think we're going to get? This is a no-brainer. I mean, it's one of those things. We'll talk about it a little bit more after the email question. But real quick with the email question, Jenna, before I forget. It says, Rubio, last week you had some rage about going to the movies. I would agree. Do you at least like the popcorn? No, I don't like popcorn. Number one, I don't want to hear people eat it. Number two, I've never eaten, I always get confused with that, Jenna. Let's just say had a bag of popcorn and not had some of it get stuck in my teeth, or like where the gums go. Jenna says 8, where it just gets stuck by the gum, and that's just annoying. And it's like one of those things where like floss or brushing can't even get out. You have to always wait for it to dissolve, or you're grinding up there with one of those little pick stick things. I want to get off this topic of popcorn because it pisses me off, and it's food that I don't like. Jenna, can you bring on someone right now with food that I not only like, I love? Chris Rush. How do you say your last name? I'm going to ruin it anyway. I'm not.
No, it's real simple. It's wash. So you can wash your clothes.
Oh, yeah. My neighbor, he says that he can't speak real American or English. So instead of wash, he always says, let's go to Washington because it's the state next door. I go, are you trying to say wash? And he says, exactly. Rubio. Okay, so I got this, Chris. Chris Walsh, I want you to tell me what company you're associated with, and then I'm gonna go in a little bit. Just tell me the company.
Family Farms.
Family Farms. Okay, if you guys watch us at the Super Bowl, Jodas, ACN, those two cooked up an absolute feast of Family Farms deliciousness, bacon wrapped. Well, you tell us the products right now, because I know I was hooked on the bacon wrapped one, where there was it was almost like a 7th grade science project, because you think you saw the outside of the bacon wrappedness, which you had me at bacon, and then it's chicken, and then inside there was like a jawbreaker flavor explosion as well. What's going on there?
Yeah, so that's the flagship item. That's our bacon wrapped stuffed chicken breast. It comes in 9 different flavors. We do a bacon wrapped stuffed pork loin, which is phenomenal. Yes. A little version, bacon wrapped stuffed chicken thighs, small for appetizers, delicious, and bacon, cheese, and chicken breast patty.
Hold on, you forget the burgers. What about the burgers?
Yeah, the chicken patties, the gourmet chicken patties.
Those are chicken?
Yeah, that's chicken.
Jesus, I just ate them, and they were, because we had so much that we put them up like little appetizer things, and I ate way too much. At one point, I was double fisted with forks, where I was going like this, so I was like ambidextrous. So I got all of them. What is the secret to your success? Why is your food so good?
So a couple of things. On the chicken breast side, it's not chopped and formed. It's not processed. That is natural chicken breast that we put into the product. It's tenderized, mechanically tenderized, not chemically tenderized. Wrapped in the bacon, and each and every one of them is wrapped by hand. So if you think about how the lattice work and how the bacon comes together, wraps it, pulls it together, they lattice wrap and lay that out, every single piece. And we're doing 50,000 per week, 50,000 units of chicken per week done by hand. That doesn't include pork. That doesn't include the teasers, the smaller version. That's just the main chicken breast item. So yeah, really proud of that crew and what they can do and how fast they can do it. They don't let me even in the production facility. I just distract them. But really proud of it. They do a great job, and the product's just phenomenal.
Well, and the best part about it is you're giving, this is in Wisconsin, correct?
Yes.
So you're Americans jobs and not giving them to robots, and it's so healthy. It's so good. I mean, that was the thing. You shipped it out to us in Vegas, and I was thinking to myself, okay, like how fresh is this going to be? But you can see I'm licking my lips right now, just going back to that, how fresh it was and how good it was.
Yeah, it's excellent, and you can pick it up. The product's available nationwide through QVC. Through many retailers throughout the Midwest, down into Florida, Texas, Puerto Rico. And I'm proud to announce we are going to be launching next week on Amazon Marketplace.
Oh.
So just more accessibility for everyone out there.
So, okay, next week I get onto Amazon. I click what? What am I going to?
Family Farms. Just type in Family Farms, and your chicken products should pop right up.
Can I do a subscription model?
You can. Yes, you can.
See, that's going to be dangerous for me.
Yeah, they work out well.
Chris, I really appreciate your time. Do you have any new products coming out, or is it going to be the staple of just greatness?
We do. We make a product. We make a product in one of our other facilities. It's for a pizzeria that's located up in the Midwest called Rocky Rococo's. They've been in business for 50 years. They still use put the raw sausage by hand.
Yes.
Each every little piece they put onto the pizza. So it's real authentic Italian pizza. And we produce that product for them. It's going to be offered in a 1-pound chub, and we'll be putting that onto Amazon as well. It's found in a couple of retailers up in the Midwest, but now it's going to be we're going to launch it nationwide. But if you like Italian sausage, this will blow your mind. It is that good. We've got to get some out to you.
I love Italian sausage. Is it spicy or just normal?
It's normal, but it has a unique flavor to it, unique flavor profile. The spice and the ingredients are just different. The way we make it is different. It's an authentic recipe from over 50 years ago, and we still follow it to the letter to this day. Okay, you send me some out. I'm gonna eat it on set. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I could though. Jenna, you think I can do it without spilling on myself? I'd have to cut it into small bites because when I was eating there, it was at the house and I had my sweatshirt off and I was eating like an animal. So it was like a wild boar feasting. And I think I got some on the ceiling. I was going so into it, but I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Chris, where can people find out all the information about you? Obviously on Amazon. Is there a website as well? Website, familyfarmsllc.com. familyfarmsllc.com. Trust me, I'm a large man, and I'm telling you, this food is absolutely phenomenal. The burgers and the bacon wrapped chicken, oh my God, so good, so good. Chris, I really appreciate your time. I got to break to a commercial right now, but then I'm going to come back. Chris Warsh from Family Farms LLC.
Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Let's get going, gang.
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. ArtBeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Todd Blamiris, out at ArtBeat LLC. You guys just saw it right there. ArtBeat Inc. They do a phenomenal job. They do all my printing. They do a great job. They can print anything: hats, shirts, pens. Doesn't matter. Magnets. They ship worldwide. So you get in contact with them. ArtBeat Inc. They do a great job. I know they're on Facebook and other social media as well. Welcome back to episode 58 of the Rubio Method. We've been on a wild ride. We've been all over the place. Where I gave you 2 rules. We talked about El Trumpo. We talked about Jimmy Kimmel. Now we're going to talk about working hard is not enough. Working hard is not enough. Okay, question for you. When did the being proud to be white and American become bad? Like, when did that all of a sudden happen? Like, did I miss the memo? I don't understand what happened where all of a sudden this became the big thing, where becoming white or being white, not becoming white. Well, I guess you could become white once you're born. Okay, being white or being American, like just proudly flying an American flag. When did that become bad? What did I miss? I'm not sure. Okay, I want to show you something, because this is a funny thing. There's been a big sentiment going around since about 2000. All right, where quote unquote the most dangerous threat to America is the white man. People have said that. Commentators have said that, news reporters said that, even Joey B has said that. And you're thinking, Rubio, come on. He literally said it in his inaugural address, where he said the biggest threat to democracy is the white man. And so recently, this weekend actually, Don Lemon, I don't know. He's the former host of CNN. He was fired, and he was the one that also got basically fired from X after he did the Elon interview, because it was so bad and he demanded so much stuff, and he's just not good. And I think he was hired simply because he was black and gay. And so he checked 2 boxes, and it was like, okay, we need him, because if you watch him, he's not a good interviewer. He doesn't have a personality. So he gets married to his husband this past weekend, and he's white. No big deal. Except for Don Lemon has also made the exact same statement that the most dangerous threat to America is the white man. He's not the only one, though. Kamala, Ilhan Omar, Lori Lightfoot, they've all said it. Now, the irony is going to drip off this photo. Jenna, do you have this photo? That's all the people we're talking about. And they're all either dating or married to white people. So that's all the people we're talking about. Jenna, I don't know if they could hear me when the picture's up. They're all married or dating white people. So if they're the most dangerous person in the world, or most dangerous threat to America, why would you date them or marry them? I mean, I'm not going to date or marry a Nazi. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't date or marry me. Or I wouldn't date or marry an anaconda snake or a great white shark, because you know what? They're dangerous and scary. Or a grizzly bear. Not even the fact that I don't find a grizzly bear attractive. They've got like claws or talons. They could rip my head off. I don't want to do that. So if I thought these people or these things were very dangerous, why would you marry them? Why would you date them? So either you're an idiot or you're lying. It's one or the other. If it's the white people are the most dangerous threat to society in America, either that's false or you're lying. Okay, one of the two, or you're faking yourself out. Maybe you're colorblind. Maybe we got to check into that. Okay, and then even Joey B said it. How is this bringing unity? Because he always talks about bringing the country together, unity. Jenna, do you have that clip?
Against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
What the hell is he talking about? What the hell is he talking about? I'm darker than probably 80% of people watching right now. Have I experienced racism? Sure. Okay. Do I know that? I look at those people and go, "You're an idiot." Fantastic. Same way I look at other people. It doesn't matter to me. You think what you want. If you think I'm an idiot because I'm darker than you, great. Okay. You just proved to me that I don't want to hang out with you. That's great. Do I want my kids to be able to know who you are? 100%. The dumber the person is that I'm dealing with, the more I want my kids, whether they're 22, 21, or 12, I want them to see you because I want to show, see, this is what you look like. This is an idiot. So this is a person you don't want to hang out with. Jenna just put up an email question. Rubio, what is your favorite candy bar? That's a great question. Three Musketeers. Everyone hates it. I think it's fantastic. Three Musketeers, 100%. Jenna, do they have Three Musketeers in Canada? Or do they call it like some sort of French thing? I don't know. How do you say three in French? Three Musketeers, runner-up would be Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Very tasty. But here's the bad part that I don't like. Number one, you're against the white dude, which I don't get, but you're also against America. And these are people in America, okay? So I don't understand it. Jenna, do you have this clip?
Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed."
That was in Michigan. And I played that clip for Jenna. I was running through the show before. And she goes, oh, it just drives me crazy. And I go, were you in Michigan? She goes, no, because she lives in Canada. She says that happens literally just every day, every weekend. It's nonstop where they're going. You got one side's Israelis, one side's Palestinians, and they're just going at each other all day long because they were allowed in there. And the government is not going to stop them because it'd be racist, allegedly. And so that all of a sudden they just do whatever they want. Okay, but if you're in America and you're saying America's the worst, then either you're confused geographically or you're an idiot. Like, I don't go to a Mexican restaurant. If I go to a Mexican restaurant and I go into the Mexican restaurant and I hate it, like, it's just the worst. I eat my food because I paid for it already. I'm going to eat it. And then you know what? I never go back. If I don't like that Mexican restaurant and it's terrible, it stinks, there's bugs everywhere, I'm not going back. Whatchamacallit, too much stuff in your teeth. It's like a Butterfinger. You're chewing on it for days after. But why would I stay? Like, I don't understand. If I go to their country and I don't like it, I'm not going to yell about it. I'm just going to get the hell out of there. I don't understand why you would stay if you don't like what's going on there. If you don't like the country you're in, leave. Is that rude? Jenna doesn't think it's rude, but she's as rude as I am. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You can comment all you want. You can jump on the show with me, all I care. We're going to come back. We've got the final segment. We've got confidence is the key. We're going to talk about being super rude, but being funny. Okay? We're coming back right after this break. Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Let's get going, gang.
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. ArtBeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to the Kondo family out in Franklin, Tennessee. Okay, that's my relatives. I got to see them the past weekend. I haven't seen them in like 17 years or something like that. Well, the little kids. There was actually a 17-year-old girl. That was the first time I'd ever met her, and they are funny. They're a great family. Really tight to them. I wish I could see it more, but shout out to all you guys. And hey, Aaron, I had a Sonic. It was so delicious, so refreshing. That's an inside joke. She'll be very pissed when she hears that. Welcome back to episode 58. This is the final segment of the episode 58 of the Rubio Method. I've got about 4 minutes left. Confidence is the key. Ricky Gervais, comic, very, very, very funny. He's the one that did the Academy Awards. He did like an 8-minute monologue just blasting everyone in Hollywood and was never asked back because he was brutal about the Epstein Island and doing this and doing that. He put out a post on X, and I don't know if it's recent or not. I just saw it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Jenna, can you post it for me real quick? Please stop saying you can't joke about anything anymore. You can joke about whatever the F you like. And some people won't like it, and they will tell you they don't like it, and then it's up to you. Would you give F or not, and so on. It's a good system. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Sadly, and I know my mom is probably shrugging her head right now or shaking her head saying, oh, that's so him. That's 100% me. I will say things all the time, and if you don't like it, that's fine. I think it's funny. And other friends might think it's funny. And as long as it's not too over the top, if it's something, I usually try not to be too rude or crude to someone if it's something that they can't handle, or if it's something that I'm just meeting them, obviously, or if it's something that I know they're sensitive about, like, okay, your wife just got killed in a car crash. I'm probably not going to make that a joke right at first. Maybe later, if you find it somewhat humorous, which would be kind of odd. But it's one of those things that I'm not going to make that a joke. But it's one of those things, how many people believe that words do hurt? And we talked about this on Decade's show. Okay, that's another show that I host on the NGBN network. Do words hurt? Do they hurt? And we came to the fact of words hurt if you allow them to hurt you, number one. So you've got to be strong enough to be able to lock your shields and, say, no, these don't hurt me. But on that note, it also depends on who is saying what to you. So if it's like an adult saying something to a child, so say like you're the parent and you're saying something to a 5, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid, and you're stupid, you're dumb, you're doing all this. Yeah, that's going to be rude. That's going to be rude. And it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have some mental issues where you're too rude to that person. Final email question that you can always email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Obviously, they do not have to be about anything. Rubio says, what is your favorite sport to watch on TV and in person? On TV, I would say football, just because I know it, obviously. And in person, 100% hockey. NHL, ice hockey, Jesus, they are fantastic. I think they're the best athletes in the world. They're huge. They're athletic. They're like ballerinas, and they are just poised, I think. And obviously, you got to love the fights where they just beat the hell out of each other. So hockey in person, if you've never been to an ice hockey match game, is that what it's called? Match game? I don't know what it's called, Jenna. They are absolutely fantastic. And the closer you obviously get to game, she says, the closer you get to the wall, is that what it's called? Glass, the better. I'm telling you, it'd be well worth it. I've been to about 10, 15 boards. The boards, yeah, okay, whatever. It's absolutely fantastic. Which brings me to my final segment, the bottom line. The bottom line, for all of you that don't know, the bottom line is just stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it. So here we go, the bottom line. Number 1. 2 simple rules that should be easy to follow. The 2 simple rules for my kids that should be easy to follow. Number 1, do whatever you want. Just think to yourself, would you do it if Rubio is right next to you? Do whatever you want in life. Just think to yourself, would you do it if I was right next to you? And number 2, the second rule, don't be a dick. Like, I can't remember what was the guy's name in Roadhouse. Now just Dalton. Remember, he had a whole little soliloquy. Just be nice. Just be nice. The world would be so much better if everyone followed those 2 rules. Just be nice. Do what you want. But if someone was standing next to you, you don't have to pick Rubio. Pick your grandma. I don't care. Number 2, have some pride in your country and show it off. Have some pride in your country and show it off. And if you don't like the way your country is, fix it. Don't just keep bad-mouthing and saying other countries are better. And if you think other countries are better, why are they better? Can we implement those rules here? And number 3, say what you want as long as it doesn't hurt others. Say whatever you want. Just be funny about it and make sure it just doesn't hurt others. That's the big thing. You want to be nice, but don't hurt others. This was episode 58 of the Rubio Method. We will be back one more time next Tuesday, 4 p.m. This is going to be our ongoing slot. Don't forget to check out familyfarmsllc.com. Familyfarmsllc.com. I'm telling you, the burger and the chicken, or the bacon wrapped chicken, my God, those 2, I know there's like 5 other things and they're all good, but those 2, they had a place in my heart and my stomach. They were absolutely fantastic. We'll be back next Tuesday at 4 p.m. And don't forget, you can catch the Rundown with Rubio every single day. On that note, Jenna, I'm out.
Thanks for watching the Rubio Method on the NGBN.TV network. Be sure to spread the word. And don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.